Hey everybody, this is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night, and we're continuing with the Fantasy Star tabletop role-playing game. We're going to be getting into the combat system tonight, and that's probably going to be it for this. So let's go ahead and get started and finish this up, and hopefully soon I'll be showing off the actual box when it gets here. So, because it still hasn't arrived yet, I've been expecting it for the last couple of days now. Okay, so switch over. Okay, now reading combat. Typical combat scene is a clash between two sides, a flurry of weapon swings, shots, parries, maneuvering, and cosmic powers. The order of combat. Combat is measured in rounds in which each participant takes a turn. A round represents about 6 seconds of time. Combat scenes are resolved using the following steps. Step 1. Establish initial positions. The GM uses the element of the scene to determine where all the characters and adversaries are located. If the encounter has no map, determine a general position and distance between the party and each enemy. Step 2. Roll initiative. Each participant rolls a d20 and adds their agility. Listing in the character sheet's movement section. Step 3. Resolve turns. In the order of initiative from highest to lowest, each participant takes their turn, which consists of a move up to their current speed and at least one action. Step 4. Begin the next round. After all turns are resolved, the round ends and a new round begins. Repeat Step 3 until the combat is resolved. Okay, initiative. Initiative determines the order of turns in combat. When combat starts, every participant rolls initiative, which is a d20 plus their agility. The result determines their place in the initiative order. The GM rolls once for enemies, so each member of that group has the same initiative. Surprise. In certain situations before combat starts, the GM determines whether any of the participants are surprised. An example would be a group who fail their perception checks against enemies using stealth to ambush them. Sometimes the scene itself sets the stage for a group to be surprised, though players should always be given a chance to avoid it. A surprised creature can move or take actions on its first turn, and it can't take reactions until that turn ends. See taking actions. Initiative order. The GM ranks the combatants in order from one with the highest initiative and result to the one with the lowest. This initiative order remains the same from round to round. Ties. If a tie occurs, the GM decides the order among tied monsters and threats, and the players decide the order among tied characters. The GM decides the order of the tie is better or character and a monster. Taking your turn. On your turn, you can move a distance up to your speed and take one action. You decide whether to move fast or take your action first. Your speed is noted on your character sheet. Okay. The most common actions you can take are described in the Taking Actions section below. Many special features and other abilities on your sheet provide additional options for your action. Doing nothing. You can forego moving, taking an action, or doing anything at all on your turn. If you can't decide what to do on your turn, consider taking the dodge or ready action. See taking action. Communicating. During your turn, you can communicate with a quick gesture or a brief statement. Interacting with objects, you can interact with one object or feature of the environment for free during either your move or your action. Interacting with a second object requires an action. Any interaction that would prompt a check also requires an action. Movement in combat. On your turn, you can move a distance equal to your speed or less. You can use as much as a little of your speed as you like or not move at all. Breaking up your move. You can break up your movement on your turn using some of your speed before and after your action. For example, if you have a speed of 30 feet, you can move 10 feet. Take your action and then move 20 feet. Dropping prone. On your turn, you can drop to the ground, become prone. See the conditions section without taking an action or using any of your speed. Standing up costs movement equal to half your speed. You can't stand if you don't have enough movement left or if your speed is 0. Crawling. To move while prone, you must crawl. You crawl at half your speed. Creature size. Creature size. A creature belongs to a size category which determines the number of spaces it occupies on a map, as shown on the creature sizes table. The space list for each size is the area the creature controls in combat, then considering an ally or enemy's space. Most player characters has a size of small or medium. In either case, the character takes up map space equal to a single 5-foot square. Okay, creature size. Small, 5 by 5 feet, 1 square. Medium, 5 by 5 feet, 1 square. Large, 10 by 10 feet, 4 squares, 2 by 2. Huge, 15 by 15 feet, 9 squares, 3 by 3. Gargantuan, 20 by 20 feet, 16 squares, 4 by 4. Moving around other creatures. You can't move through a hostile character's space, but you can move through an ally's space. Whether a creature is an ally or an enemy, you can't willingly end your move in its space. Take actions. When you do something in combat other than moving or communicating, you must take an action, unless stated otherwise, such as with special actions or reactions. You can take only one action at a time. The combat action table lists available actions your character can take. Actions not already defined earlier, such as hide, are described in this section. Combat actions. Action description. Attack. Attack with weapon. Cast. Cast a technique. Dash. Boost your speed. Disengage. Avoid provoking an opportunity attack. Dodge. Give yourself extra defense. Help. Aid another creature's action. Hide. Hide from an enemy. See hiding above. Ready. Prepare to take an action in response to a trigger you define. Search. Search an area, an object, or a person using an appropriate check and DC determined by the GM. Making a check. Making a check. Use. Use a special item. Playing on a grid. If you play using a square grid and miniatures or take tokens, follow these rules. Squares. Each square represents 5 feet. Speed. Move square by square on a grid using speed in a 5-foot segment. You can translate your speed into squares by dividing it by 5. For example, a speed of 30 feet translates into 6 squares. If you use a grid often, consider writing your speed in squares on your character sheet. Entering a square. To enter a square, you must have enough movement left to do so. It costs 1 square of movement to enter an unoccupied square that's adjacent to your space, or orthogonally or diagonally adjacent. I've never heard the word orthogonally before. I guess that means straight up and down, left and right. Again, I've never heard that term before. That's a new one to me. Corners. Diagonal movement can't cross the corner of a wall, a large tree, or another terrain feature that fills its space. Ranges. To determine the range on a grid between two things, either whether creature or object, count squares from a square adjacent to the one of them and stop counting in the space of the other one. Count by the shortest route. Other types of actions. Special circumstances in combat allow for additional or limited use actions. Reactions. Certain features and techniques allow you to take a specific action called a reaction. A reaction is an instant response to a trigger of some kind which can occur on your turn or on someone else's. The opportunity attack, described later in the chapter, is the most common type of reaction. When you take a reaction, you can't take another one until the start of your next turn. If the reaction interrupts another character's turn, that creature continues its turn right after the reaction. A reaction takes place immediately after its trigger unless the reaction's description said otherwise. Special actions. Some features and techniques let you take an additional action on your turn called a special action. You can take a special action only when a technique or special feature states that you can do something as a special action. Either you have a special action to take or you don't. The Warrior Profession's Second Wind feature is an example of when you can take a special action. You can take only one special action on your turn, so you must choose which special action to use when you have more than one available. Special features. Each character has one or more special features. Each special feature has limited uses and requires either an action or special action or a reaction to use, as defined in its description. Attack. You take an attack using a weapon, technique, or other features. Some special features, reactions, and special actions also allow you to take on attack. All attacks are made using the following steps. Choose a target. Pick a target within your attack range, a creature, an object, or a location. Determine modifiers. The GM determines whatever you have advantage or disadvantage against the target. In addition, special features, techniques, and other effects can apply bonuses or penalties to your attack rolls. Resolve the attack. You make the attack roll, d20 plus your attack power, plus any modifiers. The target's defense. Defense is typically the target number for the attack. On a hit, you roll damage. See damage and healing below. Unless the attack specifies otherwise, some attacks cause special effects in addition to or instead of damage. Unseen attackers and targets. When you make an attack roll against a target you can't see, you have disadvantages on the roll. This is true whether you're guessing the target's location or targeting a creature you can hear but not see. If the target isn't in the location you targeted, you missed. When a creature can't see you, you have advantage on attack rolls against it. You are hidden when you make an attack roll. You give away your location when the attack hits or misses. Cover. Walls, trees, creatures, and other obstacles can provide cover, making a target more difficult to harm. As detailed in the cover table, there are 3 degrees of cover, each of which give a different benefit to a target. A target can benefit from cover only when an attack or other effect originates on the opposite side of the cover. If the target is behind the multiple sources of cover, only the most protective degree of cover applies. The degrees aren't added together. For example, if a target is behind a creature that gives half cover and a tree and a tree trunk that gives 3/4 cover, the target has 3/4 cover. Okay, target half. +2 bonus to defense and dexterity save throws. Offered by another creature or an object that covers at least half of the target. 3/4. +5 bonus to defense and dexterity saving throws. An object that covers at least 3/4 of the target. Total. Can't be targeted directly. An object that covers the whole target. Rolling 1 or 20. Special circumstances apply when your d20 rolls a 1 or a 20 during an attack. Rolling a 1. If the d20 roll for an attack is a 1, the attack misses regardless of any modifiers or the target's defense. Rolling a 20. If the d20 roll for an attack is a 20, the attack hit regardless of any modifiers or the target's defense. This is called a critical hit. When you score a critical hit, roll your damage dice twice and add them together before adding modifiers. Ranged attacks. Ranged attacks are made with guns, thrown weapons, or any projectile used to strike at a distance. Some techniques also involve making a ranged attack. Oh, did I miss a page? Yeah, it did. Somehow it keeps bouncing past that page for some reason. Okay, you can make a ranged attacks only against targets within a specific range. As noted in the text description, you can't attack a target beyond this range. The variant range categories sidebar in Chapter 5 provides alternative Rules for using weapon ranges. Variant long-range weapon. Using this optional rule, you can attack with a ranged weapon at a distance up to 3 times its normal range. When attacking a target beyond a weapon's normal range, you have disadvantage on the attack roll. Melee attacks. A melee attack typically uses a handheld weapon such as an axe, a club, a fist, or a sword. Some techniques also involve making a melee attack. Reach. A creature has a 5-foot reach and can thus attack targets within 5 feet when making a melee attack. Certain creatures have melee attacks with a reach greater than 5 feet as noted in the descriptions. Unarmed strikes. Give me a second, I need some water here. A melee attack typically uses a handheld weapon such as an axe. I read that already. I was on unarmed strikes. Excuse me. Instead of using a weapon to make a melee attack, you can use a punch, kick, headbutt, or similar forceful blow. In game terms, this is unarmed strike. A melee attack that involves you using your body to damage, grapple, or shove a target within 5 feet of you. Whenever you use your unarmed strike, choose one of the following options for its effect. Damage. You make an attack roll against the target. Your bonus to the roll equal your strength modifier plus your attack bonus. On the hit, the target takes physical damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier. Grapple. The target must succeed on strength or dexterity saving throw. It chooses which, or it's grappled. See the condition. The DC for the saving throw and any escape attempts equals 8 plus your strength modifier and save bonus. See advanced levels in Chapter 2 to determine your save bonus. This grapple is possible only if the target is no more than one size target larger than you and you have a hand free to grab it. Shove. The target must succeed on strength or dexterity saving throw. It chooses which, or you either push it 5 feet away or knock it prone. The DC for the saving throw equals 8 plus your strength modifier, save bonus. The shove is possible only if the target is no more than one size larger than you. Opportunity attacks. Combatants watch for enemies to drop their guard. If you move heedlessly past your foes, you put yourself in danger by provoking an opportunity attack. Avoiding opportunity attacks. You can avoid provoking an opportunity attack by taking the disengage action. You also don't provoke an opportunity attack when you teleport or when you are moving without using your movement action, special action, or reaction. For example, you don't provoke an opportunity attack if an explosion hurls you out of foe's reach. Making an opportunity attack. You can make an opportunity attack when a creature that you can see leaves your reach. To make the attack, take a reaction to make one melee attack against the creature. The attack occurs right before it leaves your reach. Okay, cast. You cast a technique unless otherwise specified. All techniques require an action to cast. See the technique's description for its effects. Each definition contains the following properties. TP cost. Most techniques require you to expend technique points, TP, to cast. Your TP can be replenished by resting or by using special items and features. See resting later on. No TP cost. Some techniques don't have a TP cost, but you must still use an action to cast them. Range. Just like a ranged attack or technique's target must be within its range. As with attacks, you must be able to see a target before you can cast technique against it. A technique's range is usually defined as if the following. Distance. The technique's range is expressed in feet. Touch. The technique targets a creature or object, including you, within your range that you can touch. Self. The technique is cast upon you or emanates from you, per the description. Duration. The length of time the technique persists after it is cast. The technique's duration is often defined as one of the following. Instant. The technique's effects occur only for a moment and then disappear. Length of time. The technique specifies how long it lasts in the measurements of time. rounds, minutes, etc. While a technique is active, you can dismiss it. No action required. Effect. The technique's description provides the effect to be specified targets. Oh, shit. There we go. Tech, attack, power, and DCs. If the technique calls for an attack roll or a saving throw, console your tech attack power for making attacks and your tech save DC for saving throw effects. Difficulty, excuse me. Targeting yourself. Unless otherwise specified, you can target yourself with a technique that targets a creature of your choice. And valid targets. If you use a technique or a creature or an object that can be affected by it, nothing happens that it targets, but you still expend the TP necessary to cast the technique. Okay, dash. When you dash, you gain extra movement equal to your speed during your turn after applying any modifiers. Disengage. When you disengage from your movement, doesn't provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn. Dodge. Unless the start of your next turn, any attack will made against you as a disadvantage if you can see the attacker and you make dexterity saving throws with advantage. You lose the benefit if you are incapacitated, see conditions, or your speed drops to 0. Help. When taking the help action, you can do one of the following. Assist with a check. You aid another creature with the completion of a task. The creature you aid gains advantage on the next check it makes to the performance of the task you are helping with, provided that it makes the check before the start of your next turn. Assist with an attack roll. You distract an enemy with 5 feet of you, granting advantage to the next attack roll made by one of your allies against that enemy. This benefit lasts until the start of your next turn. Ready. You take the ready action to wait for particular circumstances before you act. You take this action on your turn and act by taking a reaction before the start of your next turn. First, decide what circumstances will trigger your reaction. Then choose the action you take in response to that trigger, or choose to move up to your speed in your response to it. When the trigger occurs, you can either take your reaction right before the trigger finishes, or ignore the trigger. When you ready a technique, you cast it as normal, expending any required resources, but hold its energy, which you release with your action when the trigger occurs. To be readied, a technique must have a casting time of an action, and holding onto its energy requires concentration, which you can maintain up to the start of your next turn. If your concentration is broken, the technique fails without taking effect. Use. You use an item or object that specifies it requires an action to use. This action can also be useful when you want to interact with more than one object on your turn. See taking your turn. Damage and healing. Injury and the risk of death are constant companions when exploring the galaxy. Hit points. Hit points, HP, represent your character's durability and will to survive. You are at maximum hit points, max HP, when you are injured. Your current HP can be any number from the maximum number to 0, which is the lowest your HP can go. When you take damage, you subtract it from your current HP. HP loss has no effect on your capabilities until you drop to 0. Damage rolls. Each weapon, technique, and harmful monster ability specifies the damage it deals. You roll the damage die or dice, add any modifiers, and deal the damage to your target. If any penalty is applied to a damage roll, it is possible to deal 0 damage, but not negative damage. Some weapons have an ability modifier added to the damage. A technique's description tells you which dice to roll for damage and whether to add any modifiers. Saving throws and half damage. Some techniques and effects deal half damage to a target when the target succeeds a saving throw. Always round down when having these damage. Damage types. Different attack techniques and other harmful effects deal different types of damage. All damage is of one of the following type. Physical, the most common type of damage, such as impact or slashing damage from most weapons. Acid, corrosive liquid or digestive fluids. Cold, icy blast or freezing water. Fire, scorching flames and heat. Force, magical energy or concussive force. Lightning, electricity. Necrotic, life-destroying energy. Poison, toxic substances, venom. Psychic, mind-rending energy. Radiant, energy weapons or searing radiation. Spirit, holy or spiritual energy. Resistance and vulnerability. Some creatures and objects has a resistance or vulnerability to certain damage or types. If it has resistance, damage of that type is halved, round down. If it is vulnerable, it takes an additional 1d6 damage for each damage die roll of that type. This damage can't be healed with technique or healing items. Healing. HP can be restored by using techniques or by resting. Use resting below. When you receive healing, add the restored HP to your current HP. You can't exceed your max HP, so any HP regained in excess of the maximum are lost. Dropping to 0 hit points. When a creature drops to 0 HP, it either dies outright or falls unconscious. Monsters and threats. A monster or other hostile creatures controlled by the GM dies the instant it drops to 0, unless the GM decides otherwise for story or campaign purposes. Falling unconscious. If you drop to 0 HP, you fall unconscious. See conditions. Until you regain any HP, or you now face making saving throws. Death saving throws. Whenever you start your turn with 0 HP, you make a death saving throw, also known as a death save. Determining whether you creep closer to death or hang to life. Unlike other saving throws, this one isn't tied to an ability. You're in the hands of fate now. Three successes are failures. Roll a d20. If the roll is a d10 or higher, you succeeded. Otherwise, you fail. A success or fail has no effect by itself. On your third success, you become stable. See stabilizing a character below. On your third failure, you die. The success and failures don't need to be consecutive. Keep track of both until you collect 3 of a kind. The number of both is reset to 0 when you regain any HP or become stable. Rolling a 1 or a 20. When you roll a 1 on the d20 for a death saving throw, you suffer 2 failures. If you roll a 20 on the d20, you regain 1 HP. Damage at 0 HP. If you take any damage while you have 0 HP, you suffer a death saving throw failure. If the damage is from a critical hit, you suffer 2 failures instead. Damn, that's brutal. Stabilizing a character. You can take the help action to try to stabilize a creature with 0 HP, which requires a successful DC 10 medicine check. Okay, there we go. A stable creature doesn't make death saves even though it has 0 HP, but it remains unconscious. If the creature takes damage, it is no longer stable and begins making death saves again. A stable creature that isn't healed regains 1 HP after 1 hour. Temporary points. Some techniques and other effects confer temporary hit points, temporary HP, and temporary technique points, temporary TP, which are buffer against losing actual HP and TP as explained below. Temporary hit points. Temporary HP use the following rules. Lose temporary hit points first. If you have temporary HP and take damage, those points are lost first. Any leftover damage carries over to your regular HP. For example, if you have 5 temporary HP and take 7 damage, you lose those temporary points and then lose 2 HP. Duration. Temporary HP lasts until they're depleted or you finish a long rest. They don't stack. Temporary HP can be added together can't be added together. If you have temporary HP and receive more of them, you decide whether to keep the ones you have or gain the new ones. For example, if a technique grants you 12 temporary HP when you already have 10, you can have 12 or 10, not 22. They are not hit points or healing. Temporary HP can't be added to your regular HP. Healing can't restore them, and receiving temporary HP doesn't count as healing, because temporary HP aren't regular HP. A creature can be as their maximum HP and still receive temporary HP if you have 0 HP. Receiving temporary HP doesn't restore you to consciousness. Only true healing can save you. Temporary technique points. Temporary TP uses the same rules as temporary HP items. Features or techniques that restore TP can restore temporary TP. Resting. As heroic as they may be, characters still need to rest and recuperate. Short rests can be taken in the middle of the day, and long rests are taken to end the day. I'll be right back.
Dungeons and Dragons will return after these messages.
セガはロールプレイングゲームも変えてしまう。ファンタシースター。かつてない驚異のグラフィック、壮大な SF ストーリー。その秘密は4メガ。ファンタシースター。セガ16ビット6メガ。セガファンタシースター2。目を見張るリアルキャラクター。ツインスクロール。メガドライブ対応未体験ロールプレイングゲームファンタシースター2。セガ時を司るのは神か悪魔か。1本で4つのエンディングキングオブ RPG 時の継承者ファンタシースター3。セガ
And now, back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, we were at short rests. Short rests are 1 hour long, requiring nothing more strenuous than eating, reading, or tending to wounds. Taking a short rest gives the following benefits. Spending hit dice. You can spend 1 or more of your hit dice at the end of your rest to regain HP. Rolling each hit dice and add the result to your Constitution modifier to determine how many HP you regain. Special features. Some special features are recharged by short rests, as noted in their description. Long rest. A long rest lasts 8 hours, consistent of a 6-hour sleep, at least 2 hours of light activity. As with a short rest, after taking a long rest, you must wait at least 16 hours before you can benefit from another one. A long rest provides the following benefits. Full HP recovery. You gain all lost HP, and spent hit dice. Detrimental effect. If your HP or ability is reduced from effects from monsters or techniques, they return to normal. Exhaustion. You remove 1 level of exhaustion. See conditions. Special features. Some special features are recharged by long rests, as noted in their description. Rest interruptions. Rests can be interrupted, reduced, or eliminating their benefits. Both short and long rests can be interrupted by the following. Rolling initiative, taking damage, casting any techniques at a rank above prime, walking or other physical exertion 5 minutes for short rests and 1 for long rests. Lost benefits. An interrupted short rest provides no benefits. If you rested at least 1 hour during a long rest, you gain the benefit of a short rest. Resuming rest. You can resume a long rest after an interruption. This requires 1 additional hour per interruption to finish resting. Conditions. Many effects impose a condition or temporary state that alters the affected creature's capabilities. A condition lasts either for a duration specified by the effect that imposed it, or until the condition is encountered. For example, standing up from being prone. They don't stack. If multiple effects impose the same condition on you, each instant of the condition has its own duration, but the condition's effects don't worsen. They either have a condition or you don't. Condition descriptions. Each condition has its own effects. Blinded. You can't see and automatically fail any checks that require sight. Attack rolls against you have advantage and your attack rolls have disadvantage. Oops. Charmed. You can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with damage abilities or magic effects. The charmer has the advantage on any check to interact with you socially. Deafened. You can't hear and automatically fail and check that any requires hearing. Frightened. You have disadvantages on attack rolls and checks while the source of the fear is within your line of sight. You can't willingly move closer to the source of your fear. Grappled. Your speed is 0 and can't approach. You have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. The grappler can drag or carry you whenever it moves, but every foot of movement costs it 1 extra foot unless you are tiny or 2 more sizes smaller than it. Incapacitated. You can't take actions or reactions. Invisible. You are impossible to see whether the aid of techniques or special sense for the purpose of hiding. You are heavily obscured. Your location can still be detected by any noise you make or any tracks you leave. Your attack rolls have advantage and attack rolls made against you have disadvantage. Paralyzed. You are incapacitated. See the condition and you can't move. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Any attack roll that hits you is critical hit if the attack is within 5 feet of you. Petrified. You are transformed along with any non-magical items you are wearing and carrying into a solid, inanimate substance, usually stone. Your weight increases by a factor of 10. You cease aging. Your incapacitation, see the condition, and can't move or speak. Attack rolls against you have advantage. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. You have resistance to all damage. You are immune to poison and disease. Poisoned. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and checks. Prone. Your only movement option is to crawl, unless you stand up, ending the condition. You have disadvantage on attack rolls. An attack roll against you has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of you. Otherwise, the attack roll is disadvantage. Restrained. Your speed becomes 0 and you can't benefit from any bonus to speed. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage. You have the disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Stunned. You are incapacitated. See the conditions. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Unconscious. You are incapacitated. See condition. Can't move or speak and are unaware of your surroundings. You drop whatever you are holding and fall prone. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls made against you have advantage. Any attack that hits you is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of you. And finally, exhaustion. Exhaustion is a cumulative condition that increases by level. A character who gains more than 5 levels of exhaustion, a total of 6 levels, dies. Dice rolls. Your attack rolls, checks, and saving throws suffer a penalty equal to 2 times your exhaust level. Speed. You are reduced by a number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaust level. Recovering from exhaustion. Finishing a long rest removes 1 level of exhaustion. Certain techniques can also be used to remove exhaustion levels. You are fully recovered when your exhaust level reaches 0. Okay, now let's get into creating a character. Which I think I read most of this already. Yeah. Yeah, I think I did read all this last time. See if there's anything else we want to get into. I think that's pretty much it, yeah. Because we get into weapons and stuff like that, so. I think that's all I'm going to do for the reading of the PDFs. So, yeah, there's spells right there, and I'm not going to get into every single one of them. I hope this was educational for you. It was for me. I got to learn a little bit more about this game. Again, in January, I'm going to try to get a group together beforehand to start a game up. People are invited, of course, to join me. If my email is crpgdndnight@gmail.com. You might want to have a Discord available, and we'll get in touch with each other. Also, I can be contacted through Facebook, and yeah, you can try to get a DM me through Facebook. Don't be smartasses on there, and just trying to give me grief or whatever. I will block you. So yeah, send me either an email or try to contact me directly through DMs. I go on Facebook regularly, so if I don't answer it straight away, I will eventually answer it. Also, I'm looking for a total of at least 6 players. 4 to 6 players, I should say. I don't want to go any more past 6 because I've actually run a group with 10, and that was a nightmare for me. So, yeah, my limit is 4 to 10. Again, contact me by crpgdungeonsanddragonsnight.com. Or, I have no idea what the hell I just said. Okay, crpgdndnight@gmail.com. And it's the word and, not the little symbol and. So, and it's all one word. If you want a better understanding of it, I do have it at the end of my videos on YouTube, which is CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night with the symbol and at YouTube. So, you guys take care. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. It'll probably be another stream coming on a little bit later today. I might be playing a game. I'm not sure what, though. So you guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream again. And bye-bye.